You're listening to Keith Sports News. Welcome to KSN episode 16, a special Tuesday edition. Why on Tuesday? Well, at first I was going to do this for Monday. As you guys know, I would do 2 episodes a week, mainly on Mondays and Fridays, and I would record the episodes the night before, which are Sunday night and Thursday night. Okay. I was going to do this on Sunday night after the big game, but I decided not to. Because after the big game, I was listening to a bunch of the post-game show, which I'll get into after I talk about the game itself. Then I decided to do this a day later because you know how Mondays are the big sports talk days? Well, throughout Monday afternoon, I was listening to a lot of some of my favorite shows, and I have not listened to all of them yet. I'll listen to more on Tuesday and Wednesday, or pretty much all week. So, final football news of the week. So yeah. As you can see, if you're watching the video, I got a haircut, and I'll explain why I got a haircut towards the end of this episode if I remember. The shirt that I'm wearing for the last time of the season, the old NFL logo shirt. Yes, I don't know if I said this before, but I'll say it anyways. This is the old NFL logo. The current NFL logo, the old NFL logo had a whole bunch of stars. The current one does not have much stars. And I think the reason why they changed that is because of the commissioner, Roger Goodell. He's been the commissioner for over 18 years. That's a long time. And before he became commissioner, the logo was the one with a whole bunch of stars. So he made that change where there's 4 stars on each side of the football. The logo, right? And the reason why that is, the stars represent the number of divisions. You know how there's 2 conferences with 4 divisions each, so that's a total of 8 divisions. That's why there are 8 stars. But honestly, who cares about that? The old logo looked better anyways. It did. I really wish they kept that, but oh well. Some old logos look better than the current ones. For example, the Pringles logo, the snack. The current one looks weird, but the old one, if y'all remember the old one, it looked so much better. That's just me. So, some logos, they'll never change, it seems like. So, another one where some of the logo changes aren't as bad. Another example, the Pepsi logo. The current Pepsi logo, not bad compared to the old one, but I kind of like the old one more. Okay? But the current one works for me. That's just my opinion, because I do like Pepsi the drink. And as a matter of fact, I got some Pepsi last week for the big game. So, yeah, I'll talk about that a little later. Alright, there is actually a lot to talk about. So, yes, that's why I'm doing this a day later, okay? Because I wanted to hear what other people have to say about the game itself, and then I'll talk about that as well. So, Super Bowl 59 ended, and it was in New Orleans, a rematch. Last time New Orleans hosted it was 12 years ago. Super Bowl 47, which was the first Super Bowl that I watched live. And the last episode, or no, 2 episodes ago, I talked about all of the Super Bowls that I watched live. So if you want to know more about that, go ahead and check that out. But I will say this. The first Super Bowl I watched live is still the best Super Bowl that I watched live. Yep. I don't know how many people watched this game, but I know every year a lot of people watch the Super Bowl no matter what. You got groups of people. You got groups of people that would watch it for the commercials. You got groups of people that would watch it for the halftime show. You got groups of people that would watch it because your friend or family is having a party. Then you got the regular fans that would watch it for football, the actual game. Alright? And I'm in that category. Now, I'm not a big NFL fan. So if you're wondering, why do you have an NFL shirt? Well, I got that for Christmas a couple of years ago. Alright? So, this was, I guess you can say, the first Super Bowl that I came back to watch since Super Bowl 52, 7 years ago, which also featured the Philadelphia Eagles. Technically, I came back last year. Last year's Super Bowl, I watched the first quarter because I was eating snacks, okay? Oh yeah, another group of people, they would watch the Super Bowl for the nice, good food that they would eat, you know? So last year's Super Bowl, I only watched the first quarter, but for the rest of the game, I listened to it on Sirius XM, the Westwood One broadcast, while I was live streaming on my main channel of me playing American Truck Simulator. So, I guess you can say I came back last year, but last year I really was not intrigued in that Super Bowl. This year, I was way more intrigued, okay? Even though I think a lot of people wanted to see different teams, including myself. I wanted to see different teams. But history was on the line, okay, for the Kansas City Chiefs. No team has ever won 3 Super Bowls in a row. Although technically the Green Bay Packers, they won 3 straight championships. They won the first 2 Super Bowls. But the year before Super Bowl 1, they won the NFL championship. But obviously no one wants to talk about that. And that was like about 60 years ago. Okay, because this is Super Bowl 59. Yeah, obviously the sport, the league was so much different back then. Everything was different back then. So, yeah. But the Kansas City Chiefs already made history by going to 3 straight Super Bowls where they won the first 2. New England Patriots, they went to 3 straight Super Bowls, but they won the first one and then they lost the second one and then they won the third one. So it was a win-loss win. For the Chiefs, it was win-win. And then this game, which I will talk about right now. Actually, no. I want to talk about first. Okay, so the game was on Fox. You know how every year they have a long ass pregame show. I watched a little bit of it. I had it on playing in the background. I do like the NFL on Fox guys. You know, the pregame show guys. Because when I first started watching it, it was pretty much the same guys, you know. So I do like those guys. They were actually on Bourbon Street, which I find awesome and also surprising. I thought they would be like outside of the Superdome, you know, but they stayed there for a while. And then excuse me, they went inside the dome, and then they did the rest of the pregame show there. But man, there was a lot of people there. And you know how if you watch the Super Bowl every year, seems like every time a network hosts a Super Bowl, they would reveal new graphics, new graphic packages, a new score bug, and which that's what I'm going to talk about right now. The new NFL on Fox score bug sucks. It is complete garbage. One of my online friends says that they leaked it. I don't know how they can leak that. I guess it's the people that made that score bug. They leaked it. I don't know, but you know, it's so weird. I went to Twitter or X. It's the same thing to me. Used to be called Twitter. They just changed the name to X, but it still looks like Twitter. But anyways, I went on, I usually say Twitter, so I guess I will say Twitter. I went on Twitter, and the NFL on Fox's Twitter account, they posted a tweet, which obviously they don't say tweet anymore, but I still do. I think most people still do. They posted a tweet of their new score bug. And a lot of people don't like it, including myself. That score bug is absolute trash. It is so bad that I made a YouTube short on my main channel of me talking about how bad it looks. I think it's, out of all the NFL score bugs I've seen, I think this is the worst NFL score bug of all time. You know, last year's Super Bowl was on CBS. I did not like CBS's new score bug. But this one, the new Fox score bug, is worse. Is the worst I've ever seen. There's multiple problems that I have with it. The size of it, the font, and the fact that it's not a rectangular box like the other score bugs, you know, kind of like NBC. You know, it's, what is that? And they don't have the team logos. See, if you're a big fan of the score bugs, kind of like me, then you probably will agree with me with this. But if you're not, but you know, if you're an old man, you probably don't care about score bugs, because back in the old days, score bugs didn't exist. TV wasn't as big as it is now. You know what I mean? The technology has taken over the world. Back in the old days, radio was the big thing, okay? And man, after seeing that terrible score bug, this makes me want to listen to the game on radio, but I didn't do that because I wanted to do a live stream reaction of me watching the second half of the game, and that is what I did on my main channel. For the first time ever, I did a live stream of me watching the Super Bowl. Okay? So thanks to those that have tuned in. Even though the game was already over. Yeah. So now the game itself. So I pulled up the ESPN.com scores stats for the Super Bowl. And I gotta say, the Eagles mean business. The first half, it was all Eagles. 24-0 at halftime. And the Kansas City Chiefs, they only got one first down in the first half. Then the third quarter came. It was still all Eagles. It was 34 to nothing. Wow. And then Kansas City Chiefs, they finally scored a late touchdown. And I'm like, are they going to go for the 2-point conversion? They might as well get every point they can. And that's what they did. They went for 2, but they didn't make it. So 34 to 6. Fourth quarter, I believe the Eagles, they took out their starters, so they kick a couple of more field goals to make it 40 to 6 with 8:01 to go. And then the Chiefs, they scored 2 late touchdowns, and they both got the 2-point conversion. So they scored 16 points in the fourth quarter, but that did not mean anything. It was all over. It was over at halftime. So yeah, the final score, the Philadelphia Eagles 40, the Kansas City Chiefs 22. And don't let that score fool you. 40 to 22. Like I said, if you watch the game, it was all over at halftime. Yep. The Chiefs, they scored those 2 late touchdowns because the Eagles weren't really trying. They took out their starters, they put in their backups. So I think the real final score was 40 to 6. Because the Chiefs' first touchdown, Xavier Worthy made a great catch. You know? Yeah. No one saw this coming. No one thought this Super Bowl would be an absolute beating. And I did pick the Chiefs to win because originally my NFL bracket challenge, I did pick them to win the Super Bowl. But I wasn't surprised that the Eagles won. I was surprised that they won by this many points. Yeah, congratulations to the Eagles. They got their revenge from 2 years ago. And I think this needed to happen because a lot of people are sick of the Kansas City Chiefs. Am I sick of them? I'm actually not sick of them. So I didn't mind if the Chiefs were to win the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. I didn't mind that. But I didn't mind the Eagles winning as well because they got revenge from 2 years ago. Jalen Hurts is the MVP. I remember him when he played for Alabama. And he had hair, dreads. How about that 46-yard touchdown pass from Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith? Devontae Smith, another former Alabama player. It's amazing. So good for the Eagles. Their head coach is safe. And fly, Eagles, fly. They have the craziest fans. So I did not say, okay, so at halftime it was 24 to nothing. Okay. I did not count the Chiefs out. And the reason why I didn't count them out at halftime was because of what happened 8 years ago. The New England Patriots, Tom Brady was down, 21 to 3 or 24 to 3? Something like that. And he pulled out the ultimate comeback. I'm like, what if Patrick Mahomes does that? But I did not see that happening. Although I did not see that happening 8 years ago as well. That's why Tom Brady got really lucky in that Super Bowl. And when I found out it was 27 to nothing with 5:18 left, I'm like, I think it's really, really over now. I wonder how many people turned off the game after halftime. Yeah, I don't know, but I still wanted to do a live stream reaction to the game, And the third quarter was really fast. I was still eating my snacks. It went by fast. So, um, I'm sure all the Chiefs haters are happy. Like I said, I'm not a Chief hater. I'm not a big NFL fan in general, so part of me didn't care much which team won, but I was interested in watching this Super Bowl. So, yeah. Oh, Taylor Swift was there and she got booed. And the President of the United States was there and he got cheered. And isn't that weird that a former president has never attended the big game? I find that surprising. So, yeah. No power outage, because 12 years ago there was a power outage at the Superdome. No power outage, so that's good. And no, I barely saw the halftime show. My parents were watching it, and I saw that Serena Williams was there. So, I just really don't care about the halftime shows. 10 years ago, I kind of liked them, but that's all, it's all changed. But, yeah, you know what I did at halftime? I was like on my computer getting ready for my stream, and I took out the trash because Sunday nights are trash nights. I take out the trash because Monday morning the garbage truck comes. So yeah, there you have it. Super Bowl 59 was an absolute beatdown, and I can't blame the people that are Chiefs haters. They're chiefed out. Especially if you're a LA Chargers fan, Denver Broncos fan, Oakland Raiders fan. They're rivals. So, yeah. I hope next year, for Super Bowl 60, I hope next year neither team gets in. So if one of those two teams gets in, I'm cheering for the other team, no matter which team it is. I know this year I said I don't want the LA Rams to win. I've never liked the Rams, especially after they beat the Saints 6 years ago in the NFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl. If we get Chiefs versus Rams, I'm cheering for the Rams. Okay? Plus, I do like Matthew Stafford. Okay? Although when they were in that Super Bowl a couple years ago, I wasn't cheering for them. I was cheering for the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think most of America were cheering for the Bengals as well because the Bengals have never won a Super Bowl. Okay? My other least favorite team, the New England Patriots. If we get Eagles and Patriots next year, I'm cheering for the Patriots. Okay? Plus, they got Mike Vrabel, great head coach. I'm glad he's the head coach there. So, I just hope we don't get both teams in next year's. If we get both teams in next year's, I don't know if I'll watch it. But, yeah. Next year's Super Bowl will be on NBC. And the reason why is because they want to do it during the Winter Olympics like they did a couple years ago. NBC is still the best out of the four major networks, in my opinion, when it comes to not only the NFL, but really sports in general. So, yeah. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I saw the video, or I was watching some of the post-game show. I was watching, the first thing I watched was Sports Center on TSN with Jay Onrait, okay? It's the Canadian Sports Center. And then I watched NFL Prime Time with Chris Berman, Alex Smith, and Booger McFarland. And they were showing the Eagles fans in Philadelphia. Man, they are crazy. Just like what they did 7 years ago when the Eagles won Super Bowl 52. They were doing some wild things. There's like hundreds of thousands of people there. I cannot imagine that. Oh my gosh. They're going to have a parade on Friday. and I think I will watch some of that. Normally, you don't have to wait another 4 days for a parade, but Philadelphia is a mess right now. The city, they got to clean up the city to have the parade to make another big mess. So, yeah. um, so yeah, I watched. There's this one YouTuber I watched because every year he does a Super Bowl reaction. His name is Dan Conti. He's a Dallas Cowboys fan, and every year he roots for a team in the Super Bowl, and he would record his reaction, and he's kind of funny when he rants in his videos. So I comment on there. Um, he wanted the Chiefs to win because he doesn't want the Eagles to win because he's a Cowboys fan. That's their rival, you know. Um, so yeah. And then Monday afternoon, I was listening to people talking about the big game. I know some that are really happy. Cody Decker, the Sirius XM show, Cody Decker and Michelle Beadle. Cody Decker's happy because he's a Vegas Raiders fan, so he's happy. You know who else was really happy? Christopher Mad Dog Russo. Yes, one of the best, if not the best, sports radio personalities of all time. He's happy, but also, at the same time, he also doesn't like the Eagles. But he had to pick one or the other, so he did pick the Eagles. And he said he didn't care about the halftime show either. He was putting on his pajamas. I wonder how many people how many people turned off the game after halftime because it was 24-0, you know. But yeah, one of the last things I want to talk about is that the GOAT debate is over between Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. It's over. I feel like the GOAT debate should never have started. Last year it started it because Patrick Mahomes won back-to-back Super Bowls. He won 3 Super Bowls before the age of 30, you know. Tom Brady did too, I believe. But Tom Brady is still the GOAT because he has the most Super Bowl titles. And he beat Patrick Mahomes head-to-head twice in the playoffs. So that's it, man. That's it. Tom Brady won his last Super Bowl win was at the age of 43. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to play until the age of 43. I don't know. He's 29 right now. So, is he the second best ever? I think he is. Some people brought up Joe Montana, because Joe Montana, he's won a couple of Super Bowls as well. He's also one of the all-time greats. But Tom Brady is still number one. So, do I think Patrick will win another Super Bowl? I think he will. It could be next year. Or it could be the year after that. Because Super Bowl 50 or 61 will be on Valentine's Day in 2027. Yeah, my prediction, 2 years from now, the Kansas City Chiefs will win Super Bowl 61 because it's on Valentine's Day. You know, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, their relationship, there you go. So maybe, hopefully, next year we'll get some new, fresh teams. And I think we will because it's on NBC. NBC's the best, in my opinion. And, you know, the one from a couple years ago, Bengals versus Rams, that was a surprising one. And that was on NBC. It was a good game. So, yeah. So there are more shows that I will listen to throughout this week. All right. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to say before I head on out of here. Wow, we're already at the 30-minute mark. It's crazy. So, but yeah, the Eagles, they deserve to win. They deserve to win. And the officiating was not bad. Well, the first pass interference call was a terrible call, but after that, everything was fine. It's almost like the officials were trolling the fans after that. Tom Brady says, "Nope, that's a bad call to me," you know. Tom Brady did well his first Super Bowl as an announcer. My least favorite part is the Fox score bug. I'm just not a fan of it. It looks terrible. You think the Super Bowl logo looks terrible? I'd say this new Fox score bug is worse. You know, I gotta say the Super Bowl logo is probably the ugliest Super Bowl logo I've ever seen. It doesn't look anything like it's a New Orleans style. It's not even New Orleans colors, I don't think. It should be like green and purple, Mardi Gras colors, right? Or at least have it in black and gold, Saints colors, you know? Oh, and by the way, they revealed next year's Super Bowl logo. It's very colorful. I feel like that's unnecessary, but it'll be in San Francisco, where they hosted Super Bowl 50. Oh, can you imagine if we get... Oh my gosh, what if next year's Super Bowl is Chiefs versus 49ers again? But this time, it's at the 49ers stadium. Oh. Well, if that's Super Bowl, I'm going to cheer for the 49ers. I've never never really liked the 49ers as well. The first Super Bowl I watched, the 49ers were in it against the Baltimore Ravens. I was cheering for the Baltimore Ravens that year because they won two very tough playoff games on the road. They beat Peyton Manning and Tom Brady on the road, which that is like, wow, you deserve to be in the Super Bowl after that. So... But yeah. And now it's the off season. NFL draft in about 2.5 months. I always look forward to that. Mainly the first round on that Thursday, that late Thursday in April, which is round one. That's really the only time I really watch the NFL draft. But that's about it. Well, American football will be back in the end of March because we have the United Football League, the UFL, where no one talks about that. I guess I'm going to be the first one to talk about the UFL when that time comes around. Then in the summer, my favorite sports league, the CFL, the Canadian Football League. The fun league, you know. Vince McMahon. Oh my gosh, Vince McMahon was actually there at the Super Bowl. But Vince McMahon, many years ago when he first launched the XFL, he called the NFL the No Fun League. That's what it stands for, the No Fun League. That was kind of funny. He was like trolling, you know. So, that's it. Congrats to the Eagles. They are the craziest fans. They're like destroying their city. My gosh. I can't imagine being out there with all those people. So, I don't know. When the Phillies won the World Series, were they doing that stuff as well? I don't know. But, yeah. Alright guys, I am really tired. As soon as I stop this, I'm going to upload this and then go to sleep. So, I will be back on Friday The next big thing in sports is the NHL. They're having something called the Four Nations Face-Off, which is basically a preview of next year's Olympics. So I will follow that, and I'll give you my thoughts on that and other sports news on Friday. So that is it. Thank you for listening. See you next time. Thank you for listening to Keith's Sports News.